Continue our adventure. You bet. Okay, I already read that in the last part. Let's go. There are still 2 more areas I'd like you to check out while we can. Please go south to the shuttle bay to choose your mission for today. Remember, when you choose an area, you can see which hologram is associated with that area, if that's important to you. Well, not really. Let's go to, let's save Colony B for later. To the caves! Though the planet's landscape is hostile, its core is rich with minerals and a special kind of crystal that we can process into fuel. Hudson and Cartier did decades of research to understand this crystal and how to exploit it for the energy needs of the colony. I'm not sure why your colleagues chose to call this facility the Caves, but it contains the administration office and leads to the mining operation. After the Rift event, the Caves have been offline. I need to investigate and find if there is anything left to process. Alright, let's go. This administration building is where Mr. Lumumba and his staff worked. So far, it seems surprisingly intact. Before we do anything else, let's check out Mr. Lumumba's office. It should be the door to your right. Oh, fuck that. But alright, whatever. Let's do it. Let's check out Mr. Lumumba's terminal. Maybe there will be some answers there. I still can't pronounce his damn name. Is there anything else, though? Row upon row of technical books regarding mining. The shelf is covered in mold and dirt from the damaged ceiling. We need to access this terminal, but appears to need facial recognition to unlock it. This system isn't completely accurate. Maybe there's a way to get around it. Well, okay. Now I know what to look for. This is a command center for the mining facility. All the actual mining was done by drones. It's much safer that way. Operations staff manage the drones in the mine from here. They tackled blasting, sorting, delivery, everything. There isn't much trace of the staff here, though. That's odd. I don't have records of an evacuation. It seems to be stuck in some kind of error loop. A warning keeps flashing on the screen. Ventilation failure. That lounge area appears surprisingly opulent. Even amongst all the dust and debris, this synthetic leather chairs are not cheap. Modern day mining operations seem much more comfortable compared to the mines of 100 years ago. There's a low power photo frame device on the counter. It's currently flashing a photo of manager Lumumba, who's smiling. The frame gives it a convincing 3D effect. Definitely gonna snatch that. The terminal shows an account of all the drones that were deployed to the mine. Their statuses all read offline. Give me 1 second. Let's do this. God, his fucking face. Resource Manager Luumba's terminal contains all the usual reports and statistics on the mine's operation. There is, however, a voice conversation between Mr. Luumba and Director Pierre Tong. I'll give you the details. Jean, don't you see what's happening out there? Pierre, I see just fine. I'm handling it. Damn it, Pierre. Just admit we're screwed. The Rift event has doomed us all. It's not like that. AF4B/3B has every distress signal we've got firing back home. We're going to be fine. Fine, Colony B is a smoking ruin. Everyone's blaming you, you know. Our genius leader completely out of his depth. We're going to be fine. We're prepared for this. I'm prepared for this. Those idiots are just freaking out. Because you're not leading them. Because, oh damn it, What is it? I have to go. Someone is trapped down in the mines. I have to go. John, you can't go down there. Don't be an idiot. The audio file cuts off there. That's all I can extract from the terminal. Well. The monitor shows a real-time overview of what's going on in the mines. The blue indicator is where you are right now. Those red areas, though, those indicate humans who shouldn't be in the mine during operation. They could indicate survivors I couldn't account for. You need to get down there and verify if anyone is still alive. No one's probably alive. What a sight. That room has been completely demolished. You can head down to the mines or take a look at the equipment up there. This is the sorting chamber. You can still see some of the special drones attached to the pillars up there. They maneuver around to sort the various crystals within the mining aggregate and package them up in safety containers. Well, is that it? Is that all you got for me? Alright, well. I'm reading very dirty air down there. It looks like part of the mine suffered a cave-in. It must be very stifling in there. Yeah, probably. There are chips and circuits from one of the evacuation drones on the mine floor. They've been stripped of all their wiring. Based on those marks and the debris around them, I guess someone used an explosive to remove the rubble that used to be there. With all the cave-ins caused by seismic activity, it was likely a last resort to escape. The mining drone has been crushed by falling debris. It will never mine again. Oh, thank you for that. You seem to have scanned a portable data log. It must have gotten accidentally picked up with the mining aggregate. This apparently belonged to Jean Luumba. It appears somewhat damaged, but I'm able to pull a fragment from the original audio. Here it is, as best as I can access it. This is Wheezing Sound, Jean Luumba, Resource Manager. I tried to help out. They got stuck down there, the two of them. Viktorov and Fisher. As much as I hate to admit it, maybe Pierre was right. This place might be where I die. That's where this log ends. It seems to be the first part of a series of recordings. That's where the evacuation drones brought the blasted aggregate and loaded it in automated carts. The air is even fouler down here. The drone looked like it failed when exposed to more dirt than it was designed for. It was definitely overworked. Oh man, I just teleported right fucking through it. That's a collection of motor function parts from an evacuation drone. Excavation drone. Or at least the basics. Many small parts have been removed. Looks like some safety caps were left down there when people left. Blasting chamber, or let's go this way. You're in one of the digging chambers, or at least one that didn't completely collapse. Your signal's weak. Please be careful. Looks like you found a data log. It appears to be the second in a series. I've pulled I've pulled what audio I can from it, and I'll read it for you. I'm here in the mining caves. I've been for some time. Cave-ins have made return impossible. Her eyes, so afraid, so manic, that fear. Victorov. That fear reminded me to keep going. I'm not giving up. You fool, Pierre. Maybe your pig-headedness is exactly what I need right now. That's all I can recover from this log. Well, this is geochemist Maya Fisher. It looks like her suit was compromised. It's got several deep slashes throughout. She was likely exposed to the toxic air too long. The scan revealed an item in her pocket, a replicated ring and a small box. It looks like a simple Redding band. It's of no use to us, but I find it curious. This drone has been heavily excavated for parts and pieces. It looks so helpless there, down in that awful place. It appears someone removed many of that drone's components. Judging by its condition, it was mercifully inoperable by that point. Is that it? We good? Alright. Let's continue on. Hold on, guys. Alright. Oh, well, there's another dead body. Is there nothing else I can look at? Take pocket knife. That scratched up antique looks to be a heavily modified consumer-grade pocket knife. It could probably be used to pry something open. You know, I believed it belonged to Mr. Luamba. Perhaps you should mention it to him in the Holosim chamber this evening. I mean, I guess. Let's scan him. Carletta Victorov. Those remains of evacuation supervisor Carletta Victorov are surprisingly well preserved. She must have sealed herself in that refugee chamber. She's holding onto some crude notes apparently scrawled on the backs of pages to an emergency manual. The notes read like some kind of last statement. Escaped the ship needed energy. Came to get my secret stash of processed stuff. Cave-ins forced me in here. Without ventilation, air is finite. Fisher tried to rat me out, took care of it, don't want to die in this tomb, but at least this whole nightmare will be over. That's all Supervisor Victorov managed to write, it seems. Without a clear air supply, I'm afraid she wouldn't have lasted long down there. Well, it seems Evacuation Supervisor Victorov and Geochemist Fisher both met their ends down there. What a lonely place to die. Mr. Luamba's audio file suggested he went down there as well, but apparently he isn't there. See if you can find out what happened to him. Well, I've been trying, man. Anything else? Anything else? Nothing? Alright. Let's get going. Good work. Using the knife to pry open the doors was a smart solution. You can enter now. Oh, cool. What's this? There's an empty emergency kit. It's been completely depleted of both rations and medical supplies. Oh, well, thank you for that. These are parts from one of the colony's drones, specifically energy core casings. The cores themselves are missing. No. That equipment contains a fragment of a data log. By the file name, it looks to be the third in a series. I'll read it. Quakes have stopped, and this coffin was held steady. Has held steady. No, not a coffin. I'm getting out of here. Pierre, you idiot. If you find this, if I don't make it out, I want you to know I'm not giving up. Energy fuel, that's my specialty, and I've got an idea to help get somebody off this rock, at least. The rest of the log is just some background noise, and then it ends. That seems to be the last part of this particular recording. Well, those data files suggest that Mr. Luamba attempted to escape. I think he probably did. It looks like you've discovered as much as you're going to down there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any fuel left for us to process. And now we're left with the mystery of what happened to Mr. Luamba. But I don't want you hanging around in those mines any longer. Well, alright, time to get out of here. Short little excursion. There was something entirely unwholesome about those caves. There was a moment when I felt my communication link was getting weak. I must admit, I was worried. I didn't want you to lose focus or panic while you were down there, so I didn't say anything. In any case, you did great. Come back to base and I'll process what you found today and you can relax. Oh, hell yeah. It's been a long day. Alright, let's go Scarfman, or Flubgy, as I called him. Hi, baby bear. It's a neat little loading screen right here to go back to base. That was a long day, wasn't it? Come see me right away so we can get your mission scans synced and sorted. Alright. Baby bear. Okay, all the data you collected today is synced and ready to be worked on. You did well out there. Since you went to the caves, you'll be able to visit Mr. Luamba in the Holosim chamber tonight. You can retire to your quarters when you're ready. I'll call for you when the Holosim chamber is available. Alright, let's get it. Let's get it done. It's a neat little game. I like it. I really like this game, actually. It's time, Flubgy. Heck yeah. The Holosim chamber is ready for you now. Just head in when you're ready. Have a good evening. Alright. See you, baby. Or maybe it's a guy. I really don't know. It kind of looks like a girl, but... No, what? No, wait, was that right? Yeah, I was right. Had a brain fart for a second there. Well, look at you. The AI gave me a bit of info, but it's great to actually meet you. You made it back from the caves, I take it. How did it go? Great. Well, of course you'd say that. You have to. I don't blame you. With everything that's going on, keeping a good attitude is important. You know, I've been thinking. The AI has us all working to get that escape ship upgraded and get you both off this damn planet. And I just can't shake that feeling, like all this could have been avoided, that you're going through this for no good reason. Sometimes even now, I get preoccupied thinking about old arguments or wondering what we could have done differently. Do you ever do that? Do you ever think about what might have been? Of course. It's so hard, isn't it? When you just know you could have prevented something when you could have done more. Now, I know too well that the reason you're all in this situation, and I'm saying this as a hologram for Pete's sake, is because of the Rift event. Despite all of Hudson Cartier studies, decades of research, all of our info, this planet just went and threw a wrench in everything. So many dead, senselessly so. We had this whole operation running like clockwork, well, most of the time, but what we were doing was amazing. Of course, HC-247A isn't the first successful terraforming project, but we were supposed to do the largest, to be the largest, and the first with boots on the soil from the get-go. Before, we'd just have those orbital platforms slowly nuking a planet with greenhouse gases, and other drones taking care of the rest. But it took decades more than this project was supposed to take, and as you know, Earth wasn't in a state to wait that long. I don't know. What do you think? Did we do this right? Did we do the right thing? Coming out here, setting up this new project, risking everything? Absolutely. I hope you'd say that, if only to quiet my own worrying for a while. I mean, if Hudson Cartier didn't try to colonize so aggressively, we might not be here at all. You know, when things were running more smoothly, I felt more alive than I ever did back on Earth. Finding those crystals was a huge breakthrough. Normally, projects like this have to haul all their fuel, and restocking is difficult, but a planet with a resource we could actually exploit changed everything. I was actually one of the first back home to get to see the delayed feeds from the old probe drones, to see the caves and crystals, to get the sample results transmitted back to Earth. And it was such a thrill to realize that we could harness them, process them, and keep the project running indefinitely. But the one bit of data that was harder to fathom was how unstable the crystals could be when exposed to certain conditions, even with all our tests over the years. Simulations could only show us so much, and our actual sample size was initially so very small, but those are the risks, I suppose. I just wonder, if we had taken a little more time, could any of this have been avoided? But listen to me, I could turn this over and over in my head forever, and we just met. So Flubdy, let's focus on the present. You must have info you need, or else you wouldn't have come here. What should we discuss? Your job. Well, they probably told you I was the resource manager, but I can explain it a bit better. I was the person responsible for mapping out how best to use the resource availability to any given project. Natural resources, mostly. Some of the bean cutters at Hudson Cartier thought I was like them, just a guy putting numbers in columns, making it all add up. But I never saw my job that way. I've always been an explorer. I like to find things. I like to mess around with them too. So figuring out how to mine the crystals on this planet, turn them into fuel so we could be self-sufficient, that was a challenge, and a satisfying one. I had great staff, though wonderful people to work with. Even though I wasn't fond of having a desk job, they made it worthwhile. Then the Rift event affected everything, and put the whole project into chaos, and so many of those good people suffered. But you were down there, weren't you? What did you find? Bodies. Oh no, Victor Evan Fisher, you say. That is truly terrible. You see what I mean now? There has been so much tragedy, so much loss. What else is on your mind tonight? Your life. My life? You mean before this planet? I guess I have a few adventures to tell of. Why not? Before working with Hudson Cartier, I wasn't crazy about being in an office, you know. Even as a kid, I preferred being outside. There was a group of us, when I was younger, that used to host these challenges. They were like game shows just for us. Each of us was active, outdoorsy, adventurous. But with various talents, someone would set that month's challenge, and the rest would agree to meet it. Like the one time Haley decided we'd have a hang gliding competition. None of us had done that before, and we had 3 weeks to prepare. So we all joined classes or found someone to teach us or taught each other, and then we met on these bluffs outside the city. The goal was to glide the farthest and land safely. Haley went first, that was the rule. Whoever issued the challenge had to go first. Then we all went in turn. I'll be honest, I didn't prep as much as I should have. Things were different then. Too much time and too little responsibility. I was out having fun. So when I went, I made a big show of it, like I was going to convince everyone I was the most ready, but boy, I wasn't at all, not by a long shot. Out of the 5 of us, I glided the 3rd farthest, but I also did so right into a old barn settlement. Broke my leg in 12 places. Damn. After that, well, I learned to take things a bit more seriously and to prepare. What else is on your mind tonight? Show knife. Well, that does jog the memory. I can tell you more about where that comes from. It was actually my brother who gave me that knife. Well, the first version of it. I think I've had it for over 20 years. When one of the tools broke, I'd find tutorials on how to fix or replace them. When I did so poorly and cut myself, I started taking it seriously. My brother said a tool like this was the best kind of friend. If you always kept it close, always looked after it, it would always be there for you. This sure does bring back some memories. Sometimes you think too much and miss the easy solutions. Seeing this again, maybe helping you with the ship isn't as complicated as I thought. It's about making things simpler, not more convoluted. I think I have some ideas. Thank you, Flubgy, for bringing this to me. It's given me some inspiration. Listen, Flubgy, I don't know how much power the AI still has or how much this visit is using, but just be sure, we should probably say goodbye for now. Do me a favor though, won't you put my mind to ease, try to find out what happened. I don't want to fade away, thinking we doomed ourselves from the start. I will. I appreciate it. Hopefully when I see you again, the 4 of us will have made more progress, but until then, stay safe out there. Alright. Time to get some shut-eye. Day 4. Ah, punctual as always, I see. Well, if you're up to it, we've got one more area to visit today. I'm ready. I do appreciate your enthusiasm. You come to the core for your mission when you're ready. You can come to the core. Whatever. Well, today should be an easy choice. There is only one area left to check for now. However, I've been picking up rumblings of another storm on its way. You can access your ship as usual in the South Shuttle Bay. Please do be careful out there. Alright. Let's go. Oh. That's just one of the thousands of drones that used to help build and maintain the colonies. The poor little guy looks so sad, don't you think? Yeah. They work tirelessly to keep everything running smoothly, but without power and maintenance, they're as dead as anyone else. Look, damn, that was fucking cruel right there. That was the first time I think I was able to inspect the drone. I can't remember though. Well, we're finally here. Colony B. I haven't seen this facility since the Rift event blocked off all access. Only with the recent seismic activity has it been possible to come here again, and yet I would very much prefer not to. Unfortunately, coming back is quite necessary. Today, you'll need to find 4 useful parts for the escape ship's thrusters. Please be careful. Alright. It's dark in there, isn't it? It will be difficult for you to find anything to scan like that. I imagine a lot of the facility won't work without some backup power. Hmm. Ah, looks like you found the problem in this area. There is power here, but this connection is loose. Are you going to reconnect the power cable? Yes. There's limited power again in that area. Try looking around, now that you can see. You've scanned the body of Facility Services Supervisor Leon Robertson. It looks like he was crushed by debris. He likely died a mercifully quick death. Mr. Robertson supervised the day-to-day maintenance of Colony B under Chief William King. He probably had a tough time keeping that place running smoothly. The server rack has been completely eaten away and disabled by the elements, but it looks like someone was trying to modify it somehow. There's a busted portable generator and extra networking equipment in that mess. It looks like someone was trying to send a signal. Good work. Your scan of that component will help us repair the escape ship's thrusters. Without this data, the thrusters wouldn't be able to hold a charge for long. Now we only need 3 more thruster parts and you can get out of there. Some of the data servers are still functioning. That one looks like a master array, but it's inaccessible right now. If you can find the access card that it requires, you can read some of the data there and perhaps uncover more of what happened. Those tubes delivered waste materials that were to be repurposed or stored for reuse in the future. Quite a bit never got recycled. Nope, another body. It looks like you've scanned the broken remains of machine operator Sentwali Terzi. He and his teams maintain the drones. I believe he's been dead since 2058, likely due to the major seismic event that created the rift and led to the collapse of Colony B. There's a single file on a datapad in his pocket. It seems to reference Director Pierre Tong. I can pull a tiny bit of audio from it for you. Drone team's no longer functioning. Disorder is creeping in everywhere. We're trying so very hard, but without resources, we can't get ahead. The chief is working to exhaustion, but he seems distracted by something. Worst of all is Tong abandoned us. Where did he go? So, East Service Corridor, secondary storage. The storage area has almost completely been reduced to rubble. How terrible. It's a worn-looking old server access card. Someone must have dropped it in all the chaos. You've scanned a part that we can use for reference in the escape ship's fuel line, so the thrusters don't run out of power. Excellent work. Now we only need 2 more thruster parts and you can get out of there. Oh, that is truly awful. There are bodies underneath that rubble. I can't read their signatures or know who they are. This is terrible, Flubgy. I wish we didn't have to root through all this refuse and see all this. Sorry. I guess I'll go to the East Service Corridor. Looks like that part of the colony is also without power. Well, let's go back. There isn't enough power to get this door working. You have to find a way to supply power to the circuit it's on. Alright, well, let's go back and just read the server. Okay, the server accepted the access card. There are details here that never got synced with me after the Rift event separated the two colonies. Oh no. These logs say that 14 colonists were killed on that day alone. I didn't know that. Project leader Pierre Tong was there at the time. You would think with his charisma and position he would have been able to maintain order. According to maintenance logs, the colony became impossible to maintain very quickly. Several mentioned that Mr. Tong was no longer present. Oh, well, alright. The power conduit has been separated by the seismic activity. You'll need to reconnect it to restore power. Are you going to reconnect the power conduit? Alright. You've scanned an elaborate set of schematics that somebody drew. It looks like they were drafted by hand, very skillfully too, I might add. It's difficult to ascertain what the schematics are for. They are incomplete and very complex. There's only half of this drawing. If I were to hazard a guess, I'd say they pertain to the escape ship. However, if you can find the other half, this could be good news for us. Those overflow bins used to contain those overflow bins were used to contain extra supplies and tools. They've been completely cleaned out, probably quite some time ago. What about over here? Anything else? No? Alright. Emergency lock has been engaged from within. If you can find something, remove the bolts at the bottom, you can bypass the lock. Okay. Hello there. What else is over here? So there's something over there, and then there's this. Oh hey, spanner. Good idea. You're going to take that rusted old spanner? Of course. It must have belonged to Mr. Robertson. Not to be unkind, but he doesn't need it anymore. Hopefully it will help you along the way. Let's see. Look at shelves. The shelves have been completely picked clean. It's possible that with no outside access, the colonists ran out of supplies long ago. And the other schematic. This is an immaculately drafted set of schematics. It appears to match the other set you found. There are notes regarding thrusters and fuel conservation. The draftsmanship really is top-notch. It was probably made with just a pencil and a simple straight edge. Even the circular lines are nearly perfect. Whoever made this is quite skilled. Sometimes human precision and ability really impresses me. When you visit Mr. Tong in the Hollow Sim Chamber, I suggest you ask him about these. Perhaps he can explain them to us. Alright. Oh my. Those blackened remains belong to mechanical engineer Sasha Kameninski. If your scan is correct. Mr. Kameninski was an excellent engineer, though her records mention several minor accounts of insubordination towards Maintenance Chief William King. She must have got caught in a severe electrical current when that room was destroyed. What a terrible waste of a good mind. I use electrical panel. This panel controls some of the power grid. Do you want to shut it down? Yes. Awesome. And let's do this one. This, I want to shut it down. I don't want to get fucking shocked. It is fortunate for us that the colonists found no need for this scrap monitor. Its data can be used for the ship's thrusters. Now we only need one more thruster part and you can get out of there. Alright, almost out of Colony B. It's already there. Oh wait. Whoops. I lost my brainium for a second, and this is where I need to go. My day's been alright. How about yourself? There we go. Let's see if the spanner you found will work on that door. Yes, it does. Well. Is there anything else, or is that it? This server rack has a small LED readout that shows a bleeding sheep. Do you want to put the server in sleep mode? Yes. Oh, is this a puzzle? I'm sorry to say you've scanned the body of Maintenance Chief William King. Judging by the remains, he sustained several life-threatening injuries. However, the position of the body suggests that somehow he brought himself to the room despite his condition. He must really have wanted to accomplish something. Beside Mr. King, there is a small children's book. Its cover depicts an idyllic farm scene in watercolor. In the scene, a girl with reddish hair is surrounded by several animals. A goat, a pig, and a sheep are lying down, as if they're sleeping. Well, that's good. I'm glad your day's been okay. Yeah, I might as well just put them all in sleep mode. Oh, shows a lazy pig. No. A girl. So a goat, a pig, and a sheep. So. Yes, a goat. Ah, shit. So a goat, a pig, and a sheep. No. No. Do you hear that? It sounds like a modified distress signal from William King. Short and set to repeat. It's difficult to make out, so I'll read it to you. To W. Things are bad here, I'm afraid. Not much time now. Hoping you. This over there. Oxygen is low. You're smart, strong. You're right to leave. Tong is something new. But it's too late. Too much is compromised. Goodbye, W. I'm afraid the transmission cuts off there, and only sounds of rumbling and shouting can be heard. What an unfortunate end for Mr. King. He appears to have used his last moments to contact someone. I wonder if he was successful. Oh, Flubsy, take a look. I think the server rack at the south end of the room is open now. The 3D stabilization system gives me the reference I need to construct something similar for our ship. It will help keep the thrusters steady. Okay, you've successfully found everything we need for today. Please, let's not stick around any longer than we have to. You should come on home. Alright. Let's get the fuck out of here. Alright, time to leave this biatch. I fear that was not the worst of it. There was so much damage and death. But we need to get working on those thrusters, so come back right away. So, I wonder what that is, because I've been all of these other places but here. Ship scene's kind of interesting. It doesn't do anything, but... Excellent work, Flubji. You've been successful at every mission so far. This is really going to help us. Come see me as usual so I can process these findings and plan our next move. Alright. Still need crystals, though. Flubji, do you hear the storm outside? Oh, I hear it, trust me. Thought you might. The wind has really picked up, and it's getting increasingly hostile out there. The weakening of the planet has caused a violent new storm system to come our way. This wind is just the beginning. You should still be able to have one of your extracurricular meetings, but if I believe your safety is compromised, I'll have to shut things down. Since you went to Colony B, you'll be able to visit Mr. Tong in the Holosim Chamber tonight. Be mindful this evening. I would hate to see our last remaining home damaged the way Colony B was. Alright. Let's get a little rest, I guess. Flubji, please wake up. We may not have much time tonight. I was hesitant to let you go into the chamber, but the storm has calmed a bit, and I didn't want you to miss out. I know how much these visits mean to the hologram, so as long as you don't take too long, you should be okay. But when your meeting is over tonight, please head straight to your quarters. I feel the storm may get worse again any minute. Stay safe tonight, Flubji. Aww, this little machine cares. How cute. Let's get fucking going then. Well, hey there, Flubji, isn't it? AF4B/3B told me all about you and your visit to Colony B today. How are you holding up? I'm back. Me too. And it's nice to finally meet you. I've just been working away here in my little simulated office. Listen, I hope you can help me out. As I work in here, I realize I have so many gaps in my memory, and it's frustrating. You probably know that at some point, the real me left Colony B. After that, the AI couldn't keep an updated image on me, so I don't know what I did. I'm worried about what happened. I mean, did I abandon everyone? That's all I can think about. So please, what did you see out there today? Destruction. That is awful. The Rift event disrupted most of our facilities all at once. It was a huge struggle to keep things running. We lost dozens of drones and, well, more than a few workers, good people, too, engineers and supervisors. I had to step in to fill the gaps. But there was only so much I could do, you know. I thought people would be able to pick themselves up, move on to stay alive. But not everyone could. Especially me. I was very close to the resource manager, Jean Luomba, back then, but the destruction affected even our relationship. We had very differing opinions on how to deal with things, you know, and I think our fight is probably a bigger reason I took off. I'm sorry. We were both very stubborn. I don't know how we ever got along in the first place, being so pig-headed, but that's not an excuse. What else did you see out there today? Bodies? Damn it. I remember what happened when the Rift event killed so many people. We were all shocked. I took it badly, I know that. I had drones working to recover bodies for a while. We couldn't really spare the resources, but people wanted the closure. I just don't think I wanted to see them. Everybody we found was like a personal failure, and without our connection to AF4B3B, we couldn't communicate with our facility. We started to feel hopeless. I could tell some of the workers started to think differently about me then. I was stressed, overworked, but I guess we all were. The place was chaos. It was around then that I started to feel that perhaps it wasn't as well equipped for the job as I thought. What else did you see out there today? ... Please, the AI seems reluctant to talk about it, and I can't get answers. I just want to know what happened after I left. Dealing with the deceased and wounded put enough strain on our resources as it was, but our connection to AF4B3B was cut as well. That meant we had no connection with Colony A, your facility, and after a long while, without outside connection or contact, things were dire. I recall sitting in my office one night, the real version of this simulated room. I was completely defeated. But I was supposed to be the director, you know. I had to get it together, put on a good face, so I carried on as best I could. Being the person that everyone is counting on, it isn't easy, is it? I mean, you know this. Now you're all that's left of this mess. But I'm beginning to see that you're the kind of person who can deal with stress. It's actually kind of comforting. But what if you weren't dealing with all this, say back on Earth? Any hobbies person likes? I like music. There were a lot of colonists who used music to help them through the crisis. Some of them even started a band, if I remember correctly. That's cool. Listen, I know our time here is limited, and I've been going on and on, but you coming here to spend time, it means a lot to me, and I appreciate you listening. But there must be something I can actually help with. Anything you wanted to know more about? The schematics. What are these schematics? I seem to recall something I was working on, but not clearly. Let's see. These are definitely mine, but if I had access to network systems, I would have used them. Why would I have hand-drawn these? Unless I may have drawn these up after the Rift event. They look like they're for a new way to reduce fuel usage in the thrusters for takeoff. I like to believe I was still trying to help out the survivors. I don't want to think that I just gave up on them. More importantly, though, you might be able to use these yourself if you find any more schematics like these. Please bring them to me. What else can we discuss? Escape ship. You're very focused, I'll give you that, sure. I can tell you a little more about the ship. There were only 2 ships in the project, one in each colony. We couldn't bring more with us. They were complex, delicate, and cumbersome. When the Rift event tore our colony apart, the first thing I checked was the escape ship. It was a complete loss. I was horrified. Some of the colonists thought we should be putting resources and drones towards building more escape ships after we were up and running smoothly. I could understand that, but we couldn't afford it. It took everything just to process the planet's resources and run the terraforming operation. The escape ships weren't meant as large-scale lifeboats. They could only fit a few people, but that's more than enough for you and the AI. You're going to succeed, FlubG. I just know it, and I promise you, I'll do everything I can to help. What else can we discuss? It's asleep now, isn't it? I almost feel bad talking about it behind its back. But I can tell you more, sure. I didn't design the AI, that was another engineer back on Earth, but I sure came to enjoy its company and insights once we arrived here. The neat thing about AF4B3B is that it's so powerful. Given the resources, it can be paying attention to almost everyone on the colony at once. It's like everyone had a friend at their side, though I guess not everyone saw it that way. Some colonists never guild with the AI. I think part of the reason was that we didn't give it a more human name. It ended up being less relatable than Hudson Cartier hoped. Come to think of it, I can't even remember what its name means anymore. Most people just gave it their own nickname and it didn't seem to mind. We're all stuck in here. Just having the AI with you out there must be some comfort, at least. The companionship is important. Well, listen, it's late and you shouldn't eat up too many of the facility cycles on this visit. You need to get back out there tomorrow. FlubG, I thank you for stopping by. I hope I'm able to provide some insight into what happened. If you can, though, I must have tried to help people out. I have to believe that. If you find any more schematics, proof that I've tried to help, please let me know. I will. That's what I'd like to hear. Until next time, I'll be waiting. Flubji, wake up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news so early, but it appears we have a problem. What's up? The storm I mentioned moved in very quickly and violently. While you were sleeping, it passed directly through here. The colony suffered some damage. You probably heard quite a din. Colony A is mostly intact, but it was a close call. I am afraid you won't be able to set out anywhere today. It's just too dangerous outside, and I need your help here. We need to make sure our equipment is still operational. Please come with me. Okay. Oh. As you can see, the place is a real mess. You're lucky that your room was unscathed. In any case, I've unlocked the ship hangar. I need you to go in and make sure the ship is okay. Okay, the hangar doesn't seem too bad. I hope the ship is alright. The thruster casing appears to be intact. The booster shell looks undisturbed as well. I don't detect any loose components. Oh, that's good. The escape ship appears to be okay. That's such a relief. Next time, let's make sure the shuttle is still functioning. Leave the hangar and go south to inspect the shuttle. Okay, let's see what we have here. Nothing impacted the shuttle itself, and the bay looks unharmed. Great, okay, the shuttle's still functional. We can send you out on missions again later. Now, let's just confirm that the holosim chamber hasn't taken any damage. Just head to the south chamber, head to the chamber just outside there, please. And it's fucked, isn't it? Well, it's still in standby mode. My own connections suggest no degradation or loss of data. Everything else checks out too. That's a relief. We managed to make it through this quite unscathed. We should be thankful. Still, the storm is still out there, and we can't go anywhere today. You might as well head back to your quarters. I mean, fuck it, why not? Flubji, are you okay? I have some news for you. You must have been exhausted. You fell asleep and have been here all day. I'm sure you needed it, so I didn't bother you. I completed all my internal system checks. Thankfully, the colony is intact for now. We should be able to get you out there again tomorrow, but I know today has been a particularly stressful day, and, well, I was hoping to do this another time, but considering today's events, I just couldn't wait. For what? For my surprise, of course, and since you couldn't go out today, what better time? You see, I noticed how much more at ease you've been since getting to spend time with the hologram recreations. And to be honest, they also seem to benefit from the interaction you've been having, even though they're merely simulations. So I prepared a special program for you inside the holosim chamber. Something purely extracurricular. Thank you. You're very welcome, Flubji. I thought you deserved a little time off. With whom would you like to spend time in the holosim chamber tonight? Someone else? No problem. With whom would you like to spend time with? Someone else? Winnie. Okay, I'll talk to Winnie and make sure she's available. I'm sure she's looking forward to it. Is this gonna be a little date night? Is that what it's gonna be? I'm stoked, fool. I'll have to enter low power mode so you can use the chamber, of course. So I'll speak to you again in the morning. Have fun in there, Flubji. I hope you enjoy this little bit of downtime. I might. Alright, let's do it. Isn't it beautiful? This is a recreation of the Aurora Borealis from the northern hemispheres back home, the Northern Lights. The area must have found this in one of the HoloSim relaxation archives. I think it was one of the programs used to help us adjust to colony life. What do you think of it? It's great. I'm glad you think so. When you're cooped up in the colony, being able to look up at such a wonderful, vast sight really is a treat. Wow. The neat thing about the lights is they're just a happy accident. Gas particles from Earth mix with charged particles from the sun and Viola. It's like somebody created the most beautiful painting by spilling something, you know? I think that's what makes this so wonderful. Anyway, I could go on, but we have some time just to ourselves. I don't want to spoil it. What's on your mind? How are you? Oh, well, I guess I'm okay. All things considered, the AI has kept me busy, so this little break certainly is nice. To be honest, I've been thinking a lot. I mean, more than usual. I know I asked you to help me try to understand what happened to me. And I still want to know, but I guess the more time I spend in here, the less it seems to matter. I realize that as much as I want to fill in those memories I don't have, well, I like the fact that I'm making new memories too. And I know that I have a job to do. I'm here to help you succeed and to survive. But after we met last time, I couldn't help but think, well, I guess that what I'm trying to say is it's nice to spend time like this. It sure is. I'm glad you think so too. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm worried. You are? You mean about getting off the planet? We can talk about that if you like. I mean, if it will help. What are you worried about most? Being alone. Oh, is that what is making this endeavor difficult so far? The feeling of loneliness? I can tell you that it's one of those things. Sometimes you're okay with it. Sometimes you're not. It's hard to control, you know? And everyone is different. For example, some of the other crew, they could go weeks, it seemed, without ever talking to anyone. Some people are just comfortable, I guess. They're okay with that. But what about you? Do you like being alone? Sometimes. I think I'm the same. Although now, well, I like the company a lot more, I guess. Is there anything else you want to talk about? You tell me. Well, yeah, there is one thing. Listen, I'm sorry to ask you this, but the AI told me about you finding William, you know, over in Colony B. I'm so sorry. Thank you, I appreciate that. If we could, just for a moment, I need to ask you something. William, he was pretty special, and, it's just that hearing about his death was pretty hard to take. We kept in touch when we could, I guess. We could have had an understanding. I found it easier to talk to him than some of the other colonists. It was hard to make friends sometimes, and he was such a good listener, kind of like you, I guess. But you know, he had his wife back on Earth, remember? And so, well, I mean, we were just friends. I guess I just want to know what you found. I mean, the AI said he had been trying to send a message. Did he say anything? He loved you. Oh, Flubgy. I'm sorry to make you tell me, but it means so much to hear that. Thank you. I felt that without that closure, I would just be distracted, you know? I'd always be wondering about it. I think I knew deep down, but I'm glad to hear from you. Okay, let's stay focused. There's no sense dwelling on things like this anymore. We're here now, and you're what's important. Oh, it's nice. You know, these simulations, I mean, this is so beautiful, but haven't you noticed it's not even cold? I guess when these programs were designed, they were meant to be completely realistic. If you ended up cold or uncomfortable, why would you use it? Still, I feel that it's sort of part of the package. There are northern lights after all, and it is meant to be quite cold out here. I do have one other thing I wanted to mention. The AI prepared this special simulation tonight, and well, it's beautiful, of course. I guess I just want to know. You could have chosen anyone tonight, right? And well, why me? You seem nice. Well, thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. Well, Flubgy, I hate to admit it, but I guess I should let you get to sleep. There is still a long journey ahead of you. Thanks for coming to visit, and, well, thanks for talking to me about William. Until next time, I guess, please be careful out there. Thank you. You're so polite. Take care for now. That was pretty cool. A shoulder to cry on. Oh, so there's probably different trophies for each of the different ways you can go about it. Like with different people and everything. Time to go to bed. Was it day 5 now? What a week. Gotta wait for that trophy to move. Well, Flubgy, what did you think of that special simulation last night? It was great. That was wonderful to hear. I thought you could use a pick-me-up after the stress of last week. In any case, a week has already passed, and as the increasing storm activity has shown, our situation remains difficult. We still have a lot of work to do. Come see me in the core so we can get started once again. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this part here. I'm gonna get some fucking dinner. Thank you for anyone that came in the stream and watched. Thank you for the guy who decided to, you know, see how I was doing. That's always nice. And thank you for anyone that watches this on YouTube. Have a good one, guys, and take care.